Do you really need to do more to make more in your business? When you start a business, it's obvious that you're going to be doing almost everything. You still need to figure out who your ideal client is, what offer you're trying to sell to them. And so it's normal that you're going to be wearing almost all the hats. So designer, business owner, social media expert, and so on. But then there's a point where you're going to have to start doing less and do more of what you really know how to do. When you start, you don't have the budget to hire experts to help you build your business, so you kind of have to figure out as you go how to show up on social media, how to start an email list, and etc. But once you start making money in your business and you start having a bigger budget for all of that, you should really be delegating everything that you don't really know how to do if you want to grow and have a business that really is going to thrive. Do you know how you start a business to have more freedom to spend with your family and doing what you love, but then you end up glued to your phone worrying about deadlines? Well, that's where the KVM team comes in. We are here to support interior designers with their workload so they can focus on what sits inside their zone of genius while we do the rest. And with our help, they're able to grow their business, have more freedom without the cost and hassle of having full-time employees. I'm Chris, Director of KVM Interior Design, and in today's video, I want to show you my exact step-by-step for starting to doing less and less in your business, but making more and more. So even as an outsourcing company, for me, it was very difficult in the beginning. When I started making money, I only had one designer that I was outsourcing to. And it was still very understand for me to understand that to grow, I was going to have to hire a lot more people, and not just designers, but people to help me understand what I was not good at. So I hired a money, mindset, and strategy mentor. I still work with her to this day, and she really helped me understand that to grow a sustainable business, so a business that is going to give you the freedom that you wanted when you started the business, but also that can keep growing, and a business that's scalable basically without you having to do everything in it, I had to do more of the right things, but a lot less in general. So now I probably delegate 70% of what needs to happen in my business, and it's also the reason why I keep growing. I think a lot of work goes into the mindset, because when we start and we tend to do everything, we put ourselves in the position of employee, and there's a point where you're going to have to take a step back and think, okay, if I put myself in the mindset of a business owner, you start understanding that you're going to need a vision for your business. You're going to have to set goals that you want to reach. You have clients that you want to serve, and you have to build a business model that is going to allow you to make more money, beyond the hours that you work. And I think that nowadays a lot of business owners just fail because they stay in the position of employee doing everything themselves. They completely burn out in their businesses. They can't grow. They're not making more money, but they're working 24/7, and they end up giving up. Because the reality is, if you're working as an employee, you just don't have the mental bandwidth and the time to think about your vision, to set goals and understand how you're going to reach those goals, and only do what is going to be taking you closer to those goals. You're just doing things. You're super busy, but you're not necessarily doing the right things as a business owner. But with the right CEO mindset and a clear vision for your business, you're going to start to create a business model that will allow you to do less and make more. And the saying, work smarter, not harder, couldn't be more true. You have to work on the right things. You don't have to work more. But how do you create a model that is going to allow you to do less and make more money? That's the big question. Number one, you need a clear process. I have met so many interior designers, even who have been in business for almost 10 years, who don't have a clear process of how they do things in their businesses, which means they keep reinventing the wheel, they keep redoing things differently for every client, they get completely lost, they're disorganized, they don't have boundaries with their clients, and it's very difficult for them, obviously, because they waste a lot of time and energy trying to think about what they need to do. So when you have a clear process, so a step-by-step of how you do everything in your business, you're going to be faster at doing it. You don't have to think about what you need to do. You know that after sending the contract, you need to send the invoice or whatever it is, and it's going to make you much more efficient. So just start by writing down everything that you've been doing for your clients so far. It could just be on a piece of paper, but from lead capture to onboarding, to the design development, to work on site, to offboarding a client. What is everything that you need to do? So of course it's not going to be the same for every client, particularly during the design development stage, but from lead capture to onboarding, it's almost always the same. Offboarding as well, do you have a process? Like after offboarding, do you send them a gift, and then do you need to email them a couple months later to get a review or see if you can help them in any way? So all of this, you need to think about it and just write down everything. Then we can start creating SOPs for some of the steps, because whether you're just working on your own or you think that at some point you will want to delegate, if you have SOPs, so standard operating procedures, is just a document outlining a step-by-step for doing a specific task, then even for you, when you get a little bit lost, you just go back to the SOP and you know exactly what needs to be done, sending this form, then getting back to them with an email. So if you have everything written down for a particular task, whether it's for you or someone else that you onboard, they can easily review the SOP and know exactly what they're supposed to do to complete this task. The other thing is, since our goal is to do less and less in our businesses, particularly if we work alone, how can we start doing less of the repetitive tasks? Well, you probably have heard of automation, and I'm a big fan. I use a software, a CRM tool, a client management tool, relationship tool, that I love, and it's called Dubsado. And it allows me to basically input my step-by-step, my processes, and decide which steps can be automated, so that the program knows, this email can go out to this client once they have paid the invoice, for example. And there's a lot of customization involved anyway, so it means that you don't have to manually change the names of the clients or anything. Dubsado is going to do it for you. I'm not going to go into Dubsado right now. I have a lot of videos about the subject, so if you are interested to learn more about how you can use Dubsado to automate in your business, I highly recommend that you check out our other videos. Number 2, once I set up my processes, I automated a little bit, I basically prepared my business right to delegate, because yes, of course it makes me more efficient, but if I prepare everything, it means that my business is ready to delegate, because if I bring someone in, I can tell them exactly what they're supposed to do. They can review the SOPs, and I can also train them knowing exactly what I want them to be doing. And of course, that's the biggest part, because there are a lot of mindset blocks that come with having to give away some of the control of a project to someone else. But it is very important to do mindset work around that, because if you think about it, you're basically bringing in people who are expert in a specific subject. So for example, I have never done 3D rendering. If I bring in designers who can do 3D rendering, I can bring a lot more value to my clients, because it's something I couldn't offer myself. And also, obviously, the other thing about delegating, if you start delegating, it means that instead of having just you doing something, you have 2, 3, 5, 10 people helping you do it, which means you can take on more projects, be more efficient, make more money. Because delegating is really an investment. You're not spending money, you're investing in someone who is going to be doing the work for you, and the results, so the ROI, the return on investment, is going to be much higher. So for example, if I were to do the projects by myself, I could probably take on only 2 projects. It would take me, around 3K per month or less. If I start hiring people who can help me, we can take on more projects. Then it means that we can grow exponentially. It's super scalable basically, because we can make 3, 5, 10, 15, 50K per month. There is one clear thing though, you cannot grow on your own. It's impossible. You're always going to be stuck doing around the same money, except if you keep raising your rates. But how much can you keep raising them for it to make sense for your clients? So by bringing more people, you can just really grow your business and do less yourself, because the goal when you start a business is not to be working 24/7. So the other thing that is a little bit tricky that you're going to have to work on when it comes to delegating is becoming a manager. Up until now, you were just a designer, then you understood that you need to be a business owner, and now you end up also being a manager. If you're like me, I obviously manage my team. I have regular checking, so morning, night, but I have a project manager who reviews the work, ensure that the designers are on track, that they issue the drawings when they're supposed to. So I have also delegating the majority of the project management side of things. But as the business owner, you're still going to have to spend a little bit of time training your team. Even if it's just one freelancer, you're gonna have to train them because they don't know who you are, they've never seen you, they can have the experience and talent to help you with your projects, but they still don't know the way that you work, they don't know your style, they don't know your personality. So being patient initially and training them so they understand what you expect from them, so it's a very important thing. You need to be clear about your expectations and what you are looking for in that person. And I believe it's one of the most difficult things for designers that I encounter every day. They know they have to delegate, they get started, but then they just get frustrated that they have to spend 1 hour to send us a brief to save them 15 hours. So it's still very much in the mindset that the issue is they are still having trouble not thinking, if I have to spend time sending a brief, I might as well do the entire project myself. It's counterproductive and it just doesn't make sense in the long run. So I'm going to the third thing, number 3, which is that you have to keep working on your mindset. I know this word is thrown out there quite a lot and we think it's not that important, but for me it's as important as having a good strategy in place. If you don't work on your mindset, you're not going to go very far. I have had to work on my mindset for the past 3 years basically, and I'm still doing mindset work because sometimes we have times of scarcity or we focus on one small thing instead of looking at the big picture. As you grow, you're always going to come across new mindset blocks, and if you don't work past them, understand what they are, how you can move forward, then you're always going to be stuck with those mindset blocks. And as we grow, we're always going to have new ones, and that's why I'm saying that doing mindset work regularly is a must do. And number 4, I guess if you want to start doing less and making more money, there's one important thing that my mentor always tell me, and it is, what can you do in just 1 or 2 hours every day to ensure that you serve your clients and you provide the value that they need to make a decision? Because whether you're in an outsourcing firm or you are an interior designer or actually any type of business, if you could only work 1 or 2 hours per day, what do you need to be doing so that you provide the most value to your clients? So you keep, bringing in the new leads. So maybe it's just talking on stories for 5 minutes, connecting with people for 15 minutes. Maybe it's writing a blog post. So whatever it is, like in 1-2 hours, how can you keep bringing in value so you connect with your audience and you give them what they need that will basically take them to wanting to work with you. So I think the key takeaways for this video is understanding that as a business owner, you don't need to do more to make more. In fact, you should be doing less of everything and just do more of the right things. So think about what you should be doing if you only had 1 or 2 hours per day to work, and also try to match your vision and your goals with the lifestyle that you want. I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please give it a like, subscribe for more tips about starting or growing your interior design business, about delegating and being more efficient at training an outsourcing team or freelancer, and much more. I'll see you in the next video.